Today we discuss about receptors or the sense organs of the earthworm. In earthworm, what are the different type of the receptors which are present in earthworm and how they respond to the stimulus present in the environment. So today's topic is receptors or sense organs of the earthworm. In earthworm, the receptors are not so well developed. Receptors are not well developed, are not well developed and are of primitive type, are of primitive type. And previously, while studying the histology of body wall, we have studied that the epidermis of the body wall contains the receptors, that means the sensory cells. In epidermis, we have studied there is presence of supportive cell, glandular cell, basal cell and sensory cell. That sensory cells are the receptors of the earthworm and are not so well developed. They are of primitive type, and in earthworm there is presence of 3 type of receptors are found. In earthworm, 3 types of receptors are found, and the 3 type of receptors are, the first one type is epidermal receptors, and the second type is Buccal receptors, and the third one type is Photoreceptors. So these 3 are the different types of receptors found in the body of earthworm. The first one type is epidermal receptors, next type is Buccal receptors, and the third type is photoreceptors. So these 3 are the different types of receptors found in the body of earthworm. Let's discuss about them in detail. The first type is epidermal receptors. The epidermal receptors, they are found on epidermis of the body wall. They are present on epidermis of the body wall and are present on ventral and lateral surface only. They are not present on dorsal surface. The epidermal receptors are present on ventral and lateral surface of body in the epidermis layer of the body wall. So are present on ventral and lateral surface of body wall in the epidermis. Now these epidermal cells are slender, tall, columnar type of cell with hairs at the outer end, and the inner end contains nerve. So regarding them are group of tall, slender and columnar cells. Epidermal receptors are formed by group of cells, and the cells are tall, slender and column-like. That means the columnar cells with hairs towards outer end and their inner end contains nerve. Their inner end contains nerve, or inner end is connected with the nerve. Inner end is connected with the nerve, or it contains the nerve. So, they are group of tall, slender and columnar cells with hairs towards outer end, and their inner end remains connected with the nerves. If we make them, this is the outer layer cuticle, and at the place where they are present, the cuticle is slightly raised due to the presence of the hairs on the cell. And now here is the cells of the epidermis. These are the cells of the epidermis. Epidermal cells are here. These are the general epidermal cell. This side also, this is the general cell of the epidermis. And now the sensory cells with hairs are present. They are also tall, slender cells. They are also tall, slender cell, and their free ends. This is their free end, and this free end possess hairs. The free end possess hairs. So, these are the sensory cells. These are the sensory cells. This outer layer is cuticle. This is epidermis layer. Exactly, these cells are called as the supportive cell. Supportive cells of the epidermis. While studying histology of body wall, we have studied about all different type of cells which are present in the epidermis. The supportive cells are tall column-like cell, and they form main bulk of the epidermis. And then these sensory cells, their inner ends has the nerve endings. This is the nerve. What is this? This is the nerve. So, now this is about the structure of the epidermal receptors. Now, regarding their function, these epidermal receptors, they are responsible to receive the sensation of touch. That means they are chemoreceptors or the tactile receptors. Primarily, they are tactile receptors. They respond to the stimulus of touch, and they are also thermoreceptors and chemoreceptors. Few are thermoreceptors and chemoreceptors, but mainly they are tactile receptors. They are tactile receptors. They are tactile receptors. They are mainly tactile receptors or chemoreceptors. That means sensitive to touch. They are mainly sensitive to touch. Few are also chemoreceptors and thermoreceptors. So, this is about the epidermal receptors. The epidermal receptors, they are present on ventral and lateral surface of the body wall in epidermis layer, and they are group of tall, slender and columnar cell with hair towards the outer end, and their inner end contains nerve. Inner end is connected with the nerve. They are mainly tactile receptors. They are mainly tactile receptors. They are mainly tactile receptors. That means they are responsible for the sensation of touch, and few are also chemoreceptors and thermoreceptors. Chemoreceptors receives the stimulus of chemical, thermoreceptors receive the stimulus of the temperature. So, this is about epidermal receptors. Now, the next one type is buccal receptors. Buccal receptors. The buccal receptors, they are present in the epithelium of buccal chamber. About their location, are present in the epithelium of buccal chamber. They are present in the epithelium of buccal chamber and are edge-like as epidermal receptors. They are also tall, slender, columnar cells with hair towards the outer side, and the inner end remains connected with the nerves. Are like epidermal receptors in structure. However, the buccal receptors, they are gustatoreceptors and olfactoreceptors. They are gustatory and olfactory in nature. Gustatory means they detect the taste and olfactory means they detect the smell. So, regarding their function are gustatory and olfactory receptors, while there may be presence of few chemoreceptors. Gustatory means they are responsible for taste, they are the receptors of the taste, and olfactory means are receptors of smell. So, the buccal chamber, that means the epithelium of the buccal chamber has gustatoreceptors and olfactoreceptors. Gustatoreceptors or gustatory receptors, they detect the taste, and the olfactory receptors or olfactory receptors detect the smell. Few chemoreceptors are also present. Few are chemoreceptors. So, this is about the buccal receptors. Buccal receptors are present in epithelium of buccal chamber, and they are edge-like as these epidermal receptors in the structure, and they are gustato and olfactoreceptors. Gustatoreceptors which detects the taste, olfactoreceptors which detect the smell. As the food comes first into the buccal chamber, and the buccal chamber detects the taste as well as smell as well as the chemical nature of the food. So, they are present in buccal chamber. Now, we read about the photoreceptors. Next type of receptor is photoreceptors. The photoreceptors are sensitive to light. They are light sensitive cell, and they detect the intensity and duration of the light. They cannot form image as like as in higher organisms. Now, the photoreceptors are found on dorsal surface of body wall in the epidermis layer. So, photoreceptors are present on dorsal surface. They are present only on dorsal surface. They are not present on ventral as well as lateral sides, and their number is more towards the anterior region. Their number gradually decreases towards the posterior side, and maximum number of photoreceptors are found in prostomium and peristomium. Their number is maximum. Where maximum number of photoreceptors are found? Maximum number of photoreceptors are found in prostomium and peristomium, while their number gradually decreases towards the posterior side and are completely absent in clitellar region or the clitellum. Here, their number is maximum in prostomium and peristomium. Their number is maximum in prostomium and peristomium, and their number gradually decreases towards posterior side, while are completely absent in clitellum, are completely absent in clitellum. So, this is about the number and position of the photoreceptors. Are found on dorsal surface of body wall. Like all receptors, they are also present in epidermis of the body wall. Their number is maximum in prostomium and peristomium, and number gradually decreases towards the posterior side and are completely absent in clitellum. Now, regarding their structure, each photoreceptor is oval in shape. Photoreceptor is oval in shape. Photoreceptor cell is oval in shape. Regarding shape, it is oval in shape and contains nucleus, cytoplasm, neurofibril, and L-shaped optic organelle, or which is also called as lens, or also called as Phaosome, So, L-shaped optic organelle or lens or Phaosome is also present. Now, this lens it is capable to detect the intensity and duration of the light. It focuses light on the neurofibrils, and the neurofibrils are connected with the nerve. Look here, lens focuses light on the neurofibril. Lens focuses light on the neurofibrils, and the neurofibrils are connected with nerves. And what is the function of photoreceptors? This photoreceptor, or simply this lens, it cannot form image. Lens cannot form image. So, in earthworm there is absence of eye. Because no image is formed by the photoreceptors. Then what is the function of photoreceptors? It detects the intensity of light. And duration of light. So, this is about the photoreceptors. The photoreceptors, they are found on dorsal surface of body wall, and their number is maximum in prostomium and peristomium, while the number gradually decreases towards the posterior side. They are completely absent in the clitellum, and each photoreceptor cell is oval in shape, and it contains nucleus, cytoplasm, and neurofibrils are present, and L-shaped optic organelle or lens or Phaosome is present, which is made up of hyaline substances. The lens is made up of hyaline substance. The lens is made up of hyaline substance, and the lens focuses light on the neurofibrils, and the neurofibrils are connected with the nerves. That means this nerve takes information to the central nervous system, and this lens cannot form the image. Lens in earthworm cannot form the image, so we say eyes are absent. The lens, or simply the photoreceptor, it detects the intensity of light. Photoreceptor detects the intensity of light and duration of the light. So this is about the receptors of the earthworm.